The injuries are a concern in certain situations because 3 of our 5 starting corners from week 1 are gone now. But it doesn't fucking matter. This front 7 is ridiculous. Brett Coleman is a great film study guy. He does great videos on everything. He's doing a 2-part series right now of why our rush defense right now is look at the best rush defense of all time is the Baltimore Ravens. They allowed like 900 rush yards. They're the best one of all time. We're on pace to allow 750 fucking 3. No running back has gotten over 45 yards on us. None of them. And you can say, well, you didn't play any. We played an elite offensive line and Alvin Kamara, motherfuckers.
I think some screws got loose in your head with that car accident. I think you needed to stay in the hospital just a little bit more, bro. JDub, that's a joke, right? You're going to sit there and twist your narrative to make it seem like, oh my God, my defense is such world beaters. We held Alvin Kamara to under 45 yards. You do know he only had 5 yards against you on 8 rushing attempts. Put this into context, bro. 8 rushing attempts. The other 2 games he had over 20. He had over 20 and didn't even touch 90 yards. He had 89, I think is his highest game. But he didn't even touch 100 yards. Does that sound like Alvin Kamara to you? No. He had a fraction of what he had the other 2 games going against y'all. And you think that had something to do with your fucking front 7? I get it. You're first in the rushing in rushing. Who do the Jets have to run the ball? Who do the Texans have? Ingram, who had 21 against y'all. Ingram had 21 against y'all, while Alvin Kamara had 5 on 8 rushing attempts. But let's not forget, the Texans were pushing your shit in for most of that game, half of that game, until you had to regroup after you lost Christian McCaffrey when he was already, when they were already pushing your shit in. It was a close game the whole way it was a close game until halftime, even with Christian McCaffrey. You lose C.J. Horn. You said it yourself, 3 out of the 5 starting cornerbacks are down. You think you have anybody to stop CD and Amari Cooper? Let's not to mention Cedric Wilson. And let's not forget about the tight ends that you're going to have to cover. You haven't played an offensive line like ours. You haven't. We're top 3, 4 offense for a reason. You don't have a Joey Bosa on your team. You don't have a Vita Vea, Jason Pierre-Paul, an Ndamukong Suh on your team. You don't have that. And we stuffed all those guys in pass blocking. Zeke and Pollard are going to get about $137. Guarantee that. Over $130 for sure. This passing defense, our rush defense is ranked 6th in the NFL, while your rushing attack with Christian McCaffrey is ranked middle of the pack, 15th. A little bit better than middle. But you're going to sit there and say, we don't know football? Bro, go back to the hospital and tell them to give you an MRI because you still got some shit loose. You should be back there. And stop your smoking because it's bad for you, bro. I can see all the yellow in your teeth. Of course you couldn't wait for this week because you can't help yourself but to talk to Dallas fans because that's what you love to do. Talk to Dallas fans and try to run your mouth because that's the only way you're going to get any notoriety or any, I don't even want to call it publicity, but any attention is what we should call it because you know that we're going to give you that attention. It is ridiculous. Robbie Anderson has 4 or 5 catches on the year in 3 games? And Every time I'm talking on some bullshit, I'm burping. Every time. It's a joke. This team has played the Jets, like I said. Of course, you don't pick your schedule, numbnuts. But you played the Jets, who allow 5 sacks per game. I don't even know how many the Saints. I think they're in the 2.5 or something range. I don't know the Texans. I think they're in the 3 point something range. But let's get one thing straight. You played the Jets, gave up a sack. You played the Saints, you gave up 2 sacks. And then you played the Texans. My God, the Texans with a shitty defensive line. And against your offensive line, you gave up 3 sacks. Now, what are you going to do with Parsons running after Sam Darnold? What are you going to do? Along with a few of our other front 7 that are there. Bro, you're going to sit there and tell me I don't know football, but I just went down the line and told you what was what about your team. You're ranked 15th in rushing. You're ranked 1st in rush defense, but you haven't faced, aside from Alvin Kamara, who, let's put into context yet again, only had 8 rushing attempts. And you gave up 21 rushing yards against an old Mark Ingram, who's playing behind a shitty offensive line for the Houston Texans, which was very easy to game plan for. Why? Because you had some scrub named Mills Davis who threw for 168 yards against y'all. Again, you faced a Saints team who you say their offensive line is elite, and you only gave up 148 yards passing against the Saints. But like I said in my last video with CPG, Jameis Winston hasn't even touched 200 yards. You're going to talk about the Saints snuffed out, beat, demolished Green Bay? Jameis Winston was efficient with his passing with 5 touchdowns, with not even 150 yards, I think, passing. Give me a fucking break, dude. And you know what? I'm going to give you this. Alongside everyone else, the Carolina Panthers, I was a little worried about going into this game. But once CJ Horn was out, once McCaffrey was done, I ain't worried no more. I'm not worried no more. Especially when I see my defense come alive the way they have. I can't wait. We may be almost, 27th, like that, in pass coverage, in passing yards per game given up. But you have DJ Moore. That is it. Robbie Anderson, I think, has under 7 catches on the year. You're not winning this game, bro. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. Go back to the hospital. Tell them to do a CAT scan on your head because you sound like some fuckery right now. Sounds like some bullshit, bro. You're not winning this game. We're putting up over 100 yards rushing against y'all. And Dak's going to throw for about 250 to 280, which is all we need him to do, and have a couple of touchdowns. I'm putting this Cowboys win by 10. That's where I got it right now. I'm out. Peace.